We're all friends here. You can admit it. You like them kind of big. Today, we're going to talk about diamond sizes. Specifically, how big of a diamond is supposed to be in your engagement ring. Asking how big a diamond in an engagement ring is supposed to be is a little bit like asking how long is a piece of string. The easy way to put it is that a diamond can be as big or as small as you're comfortable with wearing, that your fiancé is comfortable enough to purchase, and that fits your lifestyle. Now, obviously, if you're the sort of person that goes out rock climbing all the time, well, maybe you shouldn't be wearing a ring when you do that. But if you work with your hands a lot, maybe a larger stone isn't necessarily for you, regardless of income, regardless of social standing. If you do a lot of work with your hands, smaller might actually be better. But if you're one of those people that likes them big, how big is it supposed to be? Well, you might be surprised. Let me slap some numbers on you for a second. This might surprise you, but the average size of a diamond engagement ring in the United States is only 17 points. Points are a representation of a carat. If a carat is 100 points, then 17 points is 17 100ths of a carat. Think of them like pennies in a dollar. Now that average takes into account the largest diamonds that you'll find on celebrity fingers that are purchased in the United States, all the way down to, oops, I need an engagement ring. See our previous video for that. It also depends on where you live. Larger areas of economic development, slightly more cosmopolitan areas, very large international community cities, things like Los Angeles, New York, Miami. You'll find an average that's above the norm in places like that. You'll find larger stones more readily, more frequently, and they'll be more popular. In places like the Midwest, however, you generally find a much smaller size of diamond. Now, that isn't to say that if you don't live in a major city, well, you're a backwoods redneck, and you don't deserve large stones. I've actually heard people say that, and it makes my blood boil a little bit, and it should make yours boil too. It's a matter of lifestyle. That's really all it comes down to, folks. The size of the diamond you wear in your ring is not indicative of the quality or strength of your bond with whoever gave it to you. Don't buy into the whole idea that if you're not wearing a large rock, you're not as important as somebody else, or that if your fiancé didn't buy you a large diamond, that they don't care about you as much as your girlfriend's fiancé does. Here are some other numbers that might surprise you. While in the United States, the average, all things considered, is 17 points, which is really tiny, by the way, you might be surprised to learn, and if it comes as a shock, I won't be surprised, only 2% of women in the entire world get a diamond in their engagement ring 1 carat or larger. It's also currently estimated that only 5% of all women in the world ever even own a diamond over 1 carat. Now, I know what you're thinking. Derek, that can't possibly be true. Everywhere I look, there's diamonds. Diamonds, 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 diamonds everywhere. Well, yeah. There are diamonds, 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 diamonds everywhere if you're looking in a jewelry store and if you're looking out for them. On average, it takes about 30,000 gem-quality diamonds in order to get a finished stone that's 1 carat or larger. Approximately every 10,000 of those 1 carat stones, you'll get a 2 carat stone or larger. For every 21,000 2 carat stones, you'll find a diamond cut and polished that's 3 to 4 carats. And for every 15,000 of those, you'll get a 5 carat or larger finished diamond. So what's the big deal anyway with a 1 carat stone? Why does everybody want a 1 carat stone? Well, for the exact same reason in reverse, everyone was afraid of the year 2000. It's a big round number, and we like big round numbers as human beings. They make sense to us. They feel complete, full. But a 1 carat stone is just a measurement of weight. A carat refers to a unit of measurement that's been around for a very, very long time. A carat, C-A-R-A-T, refers to something that weighs as much as a single carob seed, which are all uniform in size and weight, surprisingly, which is unusual for nature. That's why we used it as a unit of measurement for a very long time in the gem and jewelry industry. A carat is 2/10 of a gram. A 1 carat diamond weighs 2/10 of a gram, and in a round brilliant, the most popular shape there is, that 1 carat stone will be 6.5 millimeters, or slightly over 1/4 of an inch across. Doesn't sound that big, but once you mount it, once you can see it on your hand, it moves, it has fire, it comes to life. Now, what's the whole point of going after that 1 carat stone? 1 carat is a magic number, and we'll touch on that in another video. A 1 carat stone is going to cost a lot more than a smaller stone, even though they might face up nearly identically. I mean, it's not like you're going to be walking around with a big giant neon sign over your hand saying, "It's a carat, I swear it's a carat." If you are, we need to have a conversation about your life choices. By comparison, a stone that's about 3/4 of a carat has a girdle diameter, on a round brilliant, of only 1.5 millimeters less, which means if you compared them side by side, you're only taking 3/4 of a millimeter off of each side of that stone. When they're set in a ring, you can barely tell the difference between the two. Even a trained eye has difficulty sometimes, and depending on the setting, it can look even larger than that, even without a halo with all little melee diamonds around it. Now, am I advocating that you should always go for a smaller stone? Not necessarily. The only thing I am advocating is that the size of the diamond, if you choose to go with a diamond for your engagement ring, should be the lowest priority of the possible choices you have at your disposal. If you get it stuck in your head that you have to have that 1 carat stone, nothing else will make you happy, it has to be 1 carat, well, you can get a 1 carat stone for anywhere from $2,000 all the way up to $200,000, $2 million. Size should be the least important part of the engagement ring. The design of the overall piece, what it says about you as a couple, that's what's really important. And if you're going to put a diamond in the center instead of some sort of precious colored stone, more on that in another video, then the size should be the least concern. In the United States, we seem to have a bigger is better mentality, especially when it comes to our diamonds and our jewelry. That's not the case elsewhere in the world. For instance, in Japan, particularly, you will rarely find stones available for purchase in a fine upscale jewelry store more than a carat, carat and a quarter. You will find smaller stones that are exceptionally high quality. More commonly in Asian markets than in American and Western markets, the quality of the stone is paramount versus the size. They will take a D-color, internally flawless, ideal cut diamond every single day, even if it's only 1/3 of a carat, over a 1 carat HSI. Now, all that being said, if you're here looking for ideas on how big the diamond in an engagement ring should be, I'll offer you a little bit of unsolicited advice. Avoid the magic numbers when you're buying a diamond. Try and stay away from big round numbers like 1 carat on the nose. Stay away from 3/4, 1/2, 1 1/4, 1 1/2. Because everyone is out looking for that 1 carat diamond or that 1 1/4 or that 1 1/2, because those numbers are easy to say, they're easy to digest. There are far fewer of them available, and supply and demand, the price is going to be higher. It's just that simple. But since you watched this video, you know better, and I expect you'll be looking for a good balance. Always try and find a balance when you're buying a diamond. There are so many variables to consider. Each one plays a role in the final beauty value of the stone. My personal favorite combination: F to H in color, Si 1 or 2 in clarity, excellent cut. In stones of about a carat to a half a carat, anywhere in between, the color difference between F, G, and H is minimal. You won't see too much of a difference, and it all depends on how you mount it as well. Also, the human eye can't detect anything between internally flawless and Si2. If it's graded correctly, that is a whole other video that we're going to have to get into, and I'm going to need a lot more of this. The main thing I caution when you're picking out a diamond for your engagement ring or any other fine jewelry purchase, look for the best cut. The better a stone is cut, the more fire that will come out of it, the more it will sparkle, both brilliance, which is reflected light, and scintillation, which is the fire that comes out of the stone. It's spectral light. A good cut can make all the difference in the world, can hide a lot of body color, and even with some lower grade diamonds in terms of inclusions, can even hide some of that. I mean, one of the reasons we like diamonds so much is because they sparkle as much as they do. What's the point of spending that much money on a stone if it's not cut to its maximum potential and it's not sparkling as much as it could? The average stone between a quarter carat and a full carat in your average jewelry store will return anywhere from 45 to about 65-67% of the light that enters the stone from the top. Side note, you do not have to have a stone set in a prong in order to sparkle. I have heard this so many times, I am blue in the face. A bezel does not impact the amount of light returned to your eye, because all of the light that returns to your eye from a well-cut diamond enters from the top anyway. Back on track, some specialty brands of diamond that I'm sure you've heard of can return higher than average light performance. There are some brands that return a literal 100% perfect score of all of the light that enter them. They're not very common, and if you've ever seen one, especially next to your average diamond from your average chain big box store, the difference is, well, night and day. A well-cut diamond will sparkle and cast light out a lot further than a poorly cut stone, even if it's larger. So, while the average in America might only be 17 points, most of what we see on the coasts and in the cities are going to run anywhere from 3/4 to a little bit under a carat, and that's pretty common. But get a well-cut stone and pay closer attention to the cut grade than you do the size, and it'll still look bigger, it'll sparkle more, and you'll get a lot more enjoyment out of it. Thanks so much for watching. Check out our other videos on our channel, Demer Carlsbad, below. Subscribe and share with your friends. You might be their jewelry hero today. Thanks again, and as always, please have a day worth remembering.